Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today, today's topic video is gonna be fall bass fishing. Well, the transition from summer to fall. Since a lot of people around the country right now, including myself here in North Carolina, we are almost in that time of the year when the summer bite is transitioning over to the fall bite. So, what we want to focus on right now is where did the fish go? What to look for, what baits to throw. So, first off, we're gonna kind of jump right into what happens. The grass, it starts to die off. The leaves on the trees start to fall, and so the bite tends to increase at certain times. So you have those certain bass that were in those deep summer holes all summer long. They're starting to spread out a little bit. And you had those bass that stayed up shallow the whole summer, or relatively shallow. They're gonna all hang tight to cover, meaning wood, stuff that makes them feel comfortable, areas they can ambush their prey and their bait fish and things of that nature. So what happens is with the grass, the submerged grass that was there in the summertime, it starts to die off and it kind of withers away. But then there's certain areas of the lakes and ponds, there's still a little bit of grass life left, and some of those bass are gonna go to that grass that's still available for oxygen, for cover, for ambush spots where the bass will be able to take over and just eat up any kind of bait fish, whether it be craws or bluegills or shads or minnows, anything like that. So now let's jump right into what areas you need to be fishing as far as the fall once we already transition over. So up in the corner here, I'm going to throw a couple pictures of areas where you want to find them, like this picture here. This is going to be a key area of shallow. For a lot of anglers like myself, I like to fish shallow most of the time when they're up shallow. So laydowns, submerged timber or layout, or just tree stumps or anything, any hard surfaces, wood. And up in this corner here, you have a jetty, like a rock wall or riprap, so to speak. Areas like that, they're going to hang tight too, and that's where you can find them feeding on those bait fish that got pinned up against those rocks, or those shad that got pinned up against those laydowns, and even the rocks as well. So what to use? For me, what I like to use is stuff that matches the hatch. So let's start with the rock wall. Now you don't want to go throwing a little shaky head in those rocks and stuff like that, because you're gonna get hung up 99% of the time. Throwing on those big rocks or those boulders or even small rocks, you're gonna get hung up. So what I would suggest throwing is like a square bill. Maybe not this particular color, the chili crawl, but you want to go with a square bill of some sort, maybe even a shad color. Let me take these hooks off. Shad color like this, if they have shad pinned up against the rocks. Also your natural colors like bluegills and sunfish, things of that nature. To get those square bills to bounce off and get a reaction bite from those bass that could be chasing bait up on the rocks. Let's see, as far as the grass, fishing the grass areas that are still left, or fishing the laydowns, the woods and stuff like that. Also, you can throw up a square bill up in there, or you want to throw maybe even a spinnerbait. Bump this spinnerbait up into that wood, and that's going to create a nice reaction bait for you guys. Nice reaction bait. Bumping it off wood just kind of gets that spinnerbait a little flutter, just bumps into it and just turns. And a lot of times you're going to get hung up, and that will create a reaction bite. So let's see what else we got going here. Let's see. How about chatterbait? Big favorite lure of mine in the fall time. Chatterbaits, they're gonna create that vibration. This in particular is a I'm just drawing a blank right now. This is the Z-Man's custom chatterbait. That chatterbait is a big time lure for me around this country, around this area, because of the main forage. In a lot of places I fish, the main forage is bluegill and sunfish and things of that nature. We don't have a lot of shad lakes around the area where I live. So for you guys that like to fish areas that have a lot of shads, you want to go with the shad pattern chatterbaits, or take you a swim jig like this one here. You got your shad patterns, or a swim bait as well, the belly weighted hook. These are going to be key baits to use in areas based off of the forage you have around wood, rocks, around points, or areas where you have deep water locations where you can go from deep to shallow very fast as far as the bass. They want areas where they can go from deep to shallow really fast in a hurry to ambush prey. That's what they're looking for. Okay, also another thing we can focus on is your top waters. Just because that the summer bite is gone doesn't mean that they won't eat the top water. That's wrong. They will, definitely. Throwing a spook. Something that's about the size of some of the bait fish in a lot of areas in the country. A nice size spook, or throwing a popper. Boy Ducket BD popper. It's a big time bait for me this time of the year. Well, this time of the year as well, and the fall. So that's enough of the hard baits, the top of the water column and the middle of the water column. We're going to go down to the bottom of the water column and focus on the bottom. What baits to use for the fall bass fishing. My number one bait would be a jig. Football head jig. Dragging this around, you can even throw it up into areas where you got laydowns. Dragging it around, throw it around areas of some rocks. You might not necessarily want to throw it deep in the rocks. You might get hung up. In that particular situation, you want to throw a brush jig, of course. Jigs, maybe a darker profile, something with a little bit of sunfish colors in there, maybe some gills, because those crawls are still kicking and moving around. They're starting to change the colors. Everything's changing along with the weather, and the bite is changing, of course. What else we got here? We're gonna go back to the top water. I forgot one thing about top water. You may think that it's crazy, but a black frog in the fall can be big time. I've caught some pretty decent sized fish in the fall time as far as top water. You cannot go wrong with a top water summer, late summer, into the transitioning point into fall. And once it starts to get really, really cold, it can pretty much knock out the top water, right? That's when you can transition from the fall just to the winter. But that's another topic. So, guys, we got a bunch of different lures you got here. You got chatterbaits, you got swim jigs, you got square bills. There's a wide variety of different lures that these bass are going to be looking for. You got to follow the instincts of what they're looking for. You got to follow the bait fish, whether it's little micro mini minnows, big shads, crawls, bluegills, whatever your forage is, that's what they're going to eat. So, guys, this is just a few tips for you guys to look over and just think about as far as the transitioning areas, where to find them. Rocks, wood, and what grass is left. Look in deep areas, because these bass are going to congregate together. They're going to ambush these bait fish that they're looking for. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it's a short one, but I just want to get this information out to everybody, because I know sometimes the transition from a certain point, certain seasons can be a little difficult, because the bass may or may not turn right on like you think they do. So, I hope you find this helpful. Share this video, give a thumbs up, like it, subscribe. Please hit the notification bell for future videos. And guys, I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.